Ammo mods in Cold War Zombies are not only really good for your weapon, but they also seem to be getting added every season now. I'm not sure how true that is, but I feel like that's the direction they're gonna take. And with Season 2, we've gotten a new ammo mod, and this ammo mod is called Shatter Blast. When I was doing a news video about Cold War Zombies Season 2, I referred to it as a glorified FMJ, in the sense that it just pierces armor and does more damage to it. But I was eager to try it, and so I waited until it was added into the game and I used it, and I had a look at the upgrades for it as well. And so today I want to discuss whether or not Shatter Blast is actually worth using, or if you should just use something else instead. So in Zombies, every ammo mod has its own little unique effect and is more powerful on certain types of zombies. For example, Brain Rot being more effective and dealing more damage in general to the Tempest enemies that have been introduced in Outbreak. And essentially every single ammo mod has its own thing like that, and with Shatter Blast it is no exception. When I said this thing was a glorified FMJ, I really wasn't lying. This thing specializes in breaking zombie armor and just piercing it in general and doing more damage to that type of enemy. This happens in the form of an explosion that comes and takes a chunk out of their health, and I'm pretty sure it does shatter their armor in the process, leaving their zombie flesh exposed. Now I am going to list off the things that I think are the best qualities of this ammo mod. First things first, regardless of how upgraded this thing is, it deals pretty meaty chunks of damage. The damage has more meat on it than those goddamn thick megatons, okay? And especially on those armored zombies, which it is kind of made for that, it really just completely eats them up. Its effectiveness towards armored zombies definitely is where it shines, and because of that one reason alone, I'm gonna count this as a good thing, because armored zombies are one of the most annoying things to deal with in the whole of Cold War, because sometimes, and especially in those later rounds, they really can just eat up your bullets. So having an ammo mod to combat that, I really do think that's just a good thing in and of itself. And I want to read the upgrades off and class these as good things, because my god, do they make it so much better. Upgrading to tier 1 lets the explosion deal damage to nearby enemies. Tier 2 reads all normal enemy armor damage by explosion is destroyed. Tier 3 reads that normal enemies damaged by the explosion are knocked down. For tier 4, doubles the explosion size, and for tier 5, on explosion, 3 additional staggered explosions occur in close proximity, and this has a 30-second cooldown. So as you can tell, all of these upgrades are good. I think they start off a little bit boring and just kind of simple, but later on down that skill tree, it gets way better. And I'm just gonna say this now, it is no Deadwire, especially with Deadwire's new tier 4 and 5. Maybe I'll make a video as to why Deadwire is still the king in a separate video, if that's what you guys would want. But regardless, Shatter Blast, although it is good, it does not come close to that at all. And so overall, with all of these good things about Shatter Blast, what I'm trying to get at here as to why it's so effective is because of its really high damage output. So now I'm gonna list off the things as to why it is not really in the same pool as Deadwire, or maybe even Blast Furnace. Wait, I think it's called Napalm Burst. Yep, it's Napalm Burst. Well, I'm still gonna call it Blast Furnace, okay? I'm just too used to that one. So first off, I just want to say, the consistency of this ammo mod and for how long it takes to activate is really poor. This has to be the biggest problem I have with it. It rarely ever activates for me, and the times where I actually need the explosion from Shatter Blast is when it just doesn't do it. I'll be putting tons of bullets into an armored zombie or a man or something like that, and I'll be thinking, where is Shatter Blast? I really need this right now, and then it just doesn't do anything. Eventually, after said zombie is dead, I think, damn, that was annoying, and I turn to a normal zombie, and then I shoot that thing and it activates and that explosion happens, and I'm like, why did that just activate then? So the times you're actually gonna be getting a Shatter Blast effect seem to be very few and far between, and I know I'm not the only one. This is something something that a lot of people have complained about with this ammo mod. It just feels like the times where you actually need it to happen, it just doesn't. So as you can imagine, or if you've even experienced this one for yourself, it is very annoying just with how inconsistent it can feel. The next thing that I want to bring up here is that sometimes the explosion just doesn't hit the zombie at all. You'll be shooting an armored zombie, a normal zombie, whatever it is you're shooting at, and say if Shatter Blast finally decides to activate, you'll see the explosion start to happen, but I should mention it isn't instant. And I've had experiences before where I've shot an armored zombie and it runs past the explosion. I mean, come on, it couldn't have been on the bullet when it hit and it had to take a minute to explode. Please let me know if this happened to you or not, because I feel like I'm going insane just thinking about it. But I am being fully honest here when I say this has happened to me a few times. And the last complaint I really have about it is when I say this thing is made for armored zombies, it feels like that's pretty much it. At least with something like Deadwire, it's effective on certain bosses as well as normal zombies, whereas from experience, Shatter Blast really doesn't do as much damage as you would think to a normal zombie. Like I said, this is purely made for armor, and I'm fine with that, but it'd be nice if it did a little bit more damage to normal zombies. At least Blast Furnace has the chance to completely just one-tap a zombie and literally disintegrate them. But however, I want to bounce back to what is good about this ammo mod. Remember, when it deals that damage to armored zombies, it slaps. And those upgrades are really good, and that's for all of them. But when I said that this thing is no Deadwire, this is where I want to rank this, because I made a video in December about what the best ammo mod is to use, and essentially I rank them from worst to best. And granted, Shatter Blast isn't in there because this was before it came out, and I agree with the list for the most part. I would switch out Brain Rot and Blast Furnace round, because I think Blast Furnace is slightly better, especially now that we have the new upgrades. But regardless, it's a good video to watch, and if you want to know more about this and as to why Deadwire is just amazing, then you should go check that out. And as for right now, my final verdict is that Shatter Blast is not as good as Deadwire, but it's just underneath Blast Furnace. And with that, I'm gonna leave this video here today. If you enjoyed or found this informative, then be sure to smash the like button, comment your thoughts on Shatter Blast. Is it your favorite? Do you hate it more than Cryo Freeze, which I think is impossible because Cryo Freeze is awful, but that's just my opinion. But definitely let me know. Only a small percentage of people are even subscribed to the channel, so if you've enjoyed and you've even made it this far, then definitely do subscribe, because I'm going to be doing Cold War Zombies content and also Minecraft. I've got some stuff in the works for that. Turn on the notification bell too to ensure that you stay updated for when I post videos. Thank you so much for watching, and so much for 700 subscribers. We are on the road to 1,000 people, and I will see you next time.